For today's video, I'm going to show you 5 historical mind-boggling games. I might be exaggerating the title or it might be an ordinary game for you, but that is okay. I enjoy seeing these games, that's why I'm going to share it to you. This first game, it happened in Paris, 1924, between Gabod, I'm not Gibaud, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, versus Lazard. And Lazard, is that a familiar name, Lazard? Let's see. And this game actually one of the shortest games in history. Let's talk about Lazard because after this opening, so it's I'm using the leeches, all right? Leeches. So I can see the name of the opening here. Knight f6, knight d2, and so according to Leach's information here, this opening is Indian defense Lazard Gambit. Wow. Wow. This is the shortest game and also named probably after of Lazard's name. It's like, seriously? That is just cool. Capture, and White decided to capture the Gambit, and Knight G4. And what's the plan for White? Of course, you can move knight f3 or e3, but White decided to go a3, and because of that, Lazar just just wow, and the queen is cornered, cannot go anywhere. If you gonna capture, that's a checkmate. So after of 4 moves, after of knight e3, resigns. Yeah, that's really cool. And let's go for another games here between. This is impossible that you will not know this guy, Alec Hein, versus this time 4 players. Just imagine 4 players talking, sharing, analyzing together versus Alec Hein just to beat this guy. What happened was, come on, let's check. Let's check. So e4, okay, c6, that's Krokan. Krokan defense, and ordinary, of course, knight c3. Okay, it's Krokan, and then capture, that's a main line. And knight, wow, so still good main line. And queen e2, this one, just imagine, it's Alec Hein White versus 4 players. They're talking, sharing, analyzing together. It's like, what will be our next move? We are playing with Alec Hein, so one of the greatest players of all time, one of the best today's. And what's the mode? So they decided, the 4 players decided to move knight f6, and because of that, wow, that is just 6th move checkmate. It's like, seriously? What? Seriously? So, but it happened. History can tell. If this thing not recorded, we don't know that is true or not, but according to the book. Now, let's go for our number 3. This is our third game. Warren Dublin versus Selman Amsterdam, 1930. And let's see what happened here. This is just a 6th move. So Warren Dublin is black here, knight f6, there you go, c4, just okay. Wow, another gambit for black. So I think before, gambit is just gambit was too normal to do. It's like, compared today, it's difficult to give up on because it's Indian time, can be refuted. So you only have to do is to hold the position, and then there you go. But in our history, old era, gambit is like, come on, if you do gambit, okay, so knight e4, just nh3. Wow, this is another crazy pawn moves, h3. So we've seen this one twice, the first game and this third game. d6. And okay, since you decided to give, okay, sir, decided to give your e5, let me give you my other pawn, d6. Capture. All right, capture it now. And bishop captured, and white just committed a blunder. Warren Dublin, okay, okay. Am I seeing things correctly? Capture. Knight takes f2, attacking the queen and the rook at the same time. Of course, if the king captures, just for example, bishop takes g3, and that's a goodbye win. Wow. Wow. So today, the opening is well studied, well prepared. Engines are there to help you to understand what is the best opening, how to avoid such kind of traps. Today's generation is different, so you can avoid those, let's say, little trick traps. But of course, in old days, they don't have any information, so they're just discovering things. So let's go for our third one or fourth one. Fourth game, this is Norwood Potter versus an amateur player. Odds of a queen. Wow, odds of a queen. There's no queen on the board. White just gave up a queen. So if you want to beat me, that's okay. But I can give you an odds of a queen. So let's see what happened here. So e4, ordinary opening, e4, e5, king's pawn, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop. Ooh, are we going to see a fried liver here? Nope, knight f6, the fried liver with knight g5 capturing, sacrificing there, of course. But you don't have a queen to support the fried liver, so that is not impossible. That is not possible, I mean. And knight a4, okay, that's a good idea. If you are black, come on. You are queens up. Look for simplification. You gotta win this one. However, after the knight a5, white decided to capture knight takes e5. It's like, what a fearless move by Norwood. I even gave you my queen, its odds, its handicap. So that is okay. If you want to capture the bishop, that is okay. That is totally fine for me. Knight takes, so black decided, okay, so I will not, just hold on, I will not capture your bishop yet. I will capture the pawn. But after of d3, knight c5, things happen unexpected. This king will travel going here and checkmate. This is a nomad king, the traveling king. This is not basketball with a traveling thing, but the king will travel around the world, around the chessboard. And let's see the check of the bishop. And king d6, of course, the only good square for the king. But knight, once again, another check, bombarding with checks. Another check. Okay, what to do? You have, if you are white, you have to keep checking. You have to avoid any possible escape of the king. Knight d4 check, and okay, so there's no space. h3, another check, and ooh, king g3, two more squares. Like, how? Oh, there is no square. This is the only good square for the king. So what white did was knight e2, capture, check, bishop d5, and wow, odds of a queen and checkmate. That is craziness. So let's go for our last game here, and it happened actually in there's no date, but it is between Barnes versus an amateur player. It's odds of a rook and a knight. So there's no rook on a1, there's no knight on b1, but Mr. Barnes still won a game. So let's see how did it happen. e4, okay, e4, e5, no, but d4, like center games. Is that the center games? And like, hey, you don't have rook, you don't have rook, you don't have knight, and you sacrifice. Are you going for a gambit, Mr. Burns? Bishop c4, knight c6, 8-3. It's like, Okay, so probably just or space for possible knight a5, so a3 and knight. Wow, knight e7. So for this position, black could move d6 for space of the bishop, knight, and of course d6 to avoid any push pawn, knight f6, but knight e7. Wow. So knight f3, normal development. You don't have your rook, you don't have your knight. You have to improve your position. a6. Ooh, there's no knight f6 yet. There is no d6 yet on the board. Castling in. Wow. This bishop might go here. Wow, that's a good place and square for your bishop. That's a long diagonal shot. And bishop a2, pot c6. Ooh, what is the plan of black? And knight g5 attacking the f7. That's a checkmate. But what the black would do here, knight h6. So in this position, you can move d5. It's more active. Of course, there's d5 blocking the pathway of bishop towards to f7 and avoiding the what you call it, the checkmate. Knight h6, and then the queen is coming. Hey, this is checkmate. This is checkmate. You have to do something. And queen a5, giving a little bit square for your king. Rook e1. Wow, rook e1, for example, capture here. Let's just say rook e1, capture, capture, and queen takes this king. This knight cannot go because of the pin. So that's I guess that is the plan. But ooh, that's over. After rook e1, there you go. C takes b2, and this queen attacking the rook with a possible checkmate, and this pawn attacking the bishop, and rook d1. What? Are you going to give your bishop for free? You don't have rook, you don't have knight, and still. Ooh, let's see. Queen takes, pawn takes bishop, and another queen on the board for black, but white didn't care at all. I don't care. If you want to have another queen, that's okay. That is okay. Queen f7, knight takes f7, bishop takes f7, and wow, that one move checkmate because the pawn cannot move an inch here. It's pinned. It's being pinned down. Whew.